The better your monitoring works, the less anyone can see why it costs anything. And that is the prevention paradox. And it has ended more good observability programs than any outage ever had. Here is how you beat it before the renewal lands. Let me tell you how this conversation actually goes, because I've had it more times than I can count, and it goes the same way every single fucking time. Every time. You do the work, you instrument the estate properly, it's singing. You get the alerts tuned so they mean something. You get to the point where the on-call engineer gets a call before the customer ever feels a thing. And we all know how rare that is. It works month after month after month. It quietly hums. And that's exactly when the trouble starts, because the budget holder does not see the incident that never happened. They see a line on a spreadsheet, and 9 times out of 10, a flipping big one. And they see a quarter where nothing went wrong. And they do the most natural thing in the world. They join 2 facts together and ask the question that has ended more good observability programs than an outage ever has. If nothing is going wrong, why are we paying for all of this? We've all heard it. This, my friends, is the prevention paradox. And it's brutal because it punishes you for being good at your job. The better your tooling, the better it works, the better it sings, the better it's integrated, the less anyone can see why it costs anything. The value is invisible by design. Now, I want to be fair to the person asking the question, because for years I wasn't. A finance leader looks, or CFO looks at the observability bill, and they're not being stupid and they're not being cheap. Let's be fair to them. They are doing something completely reasonable. They are comparing a number that they see against a number they cannot. The cost is exact. It's on the invoice. It's in front of them to the penny. Every single month they see that. The benefit is counterfactual. It's a list. It's a list of incidents that didn't happen, and you can't pour a list of things that didn't happen in front of a board and expect them to feel it. Fact, they won't feel it. That is the real problem, and it took me too long to understand it. It's not a value problem, and we do have value problems, of course. It's a measurement problem. The cost of observability is precise, and the value of observability, as we all know, is invisible. You have to make it visible. Human beings, all of us, trust a precise number over the invisible one every single fucking time. We do, of course we do. You're not losing the argument because your tooling is not worth it. You're losing it because one side of the scale has a hard number and the other side of the scale just has a shrug and a feeling. Think about how we treat every other kind of insurance. Nobody stands up in a company, all hands, and celebrates building insurance. Nobody gets a bonus for the fire that didn't spread. Insurance is the thing you resent paying right up until the day you need to have it. Observability, sometimes I say, is operational insurance, and it carries the exact same curse. It looks like a pure cost until the moment it is the only thing standing between you and the worst day of your year. You built a thing whose whole purpose is to make sure nothing happens. You have. And then you ask to justify it in a world where nothing happened. I've watched many teams, including myself, lose this argument many times, not because the tooling was bad, because it was good and nobody could see it. The renewal gets trimmed, somebody decides they can live with a chapter tier or half of the retention, or one fewer environment monitored, and for 1 quarter, maybe 2, maybe they're right. Nothing happens. That obviously adds to it. You know, it looks like the smarter cut. It looks like the smart way forward. And then the quiet ends. It always ends. And when it does, the thing that would have caught it early is the thing you flipping switched off. And you know you did, just to save money. Now it's not a near miss. Nobody noticed. Now it's a P1 incident on the status page with the customers watching it, regulators on your back, and everybody asking how nobody saw it coming. Someone did see it coming. The tooling saw dozens of them coming for years. It just never got the credit because catching a problem early looks exactly like nothing happened. So the lesson I've taken from losing this argument more than once is that Quiet is not the win to get a rest on. Quiet is the most dangerous story my monitoring, my observability entering ever tells, because it's the story that makes observability look optional. So, the hard stop. A quiet quarter is the worst sales pitch your monitoring will ever make. A quiet quarter is the worst sales pitch your monitoring or observability stack will ever make. So here's what I want you to do this week. And it costs you nothing but 20 minutes. I know we're busy, but I know 20 minutes is expensive. Build one slide, just one. Find a near miss that your tooling caught before it came an incident. It could be anything. The deploy that got a rollback automatically, the saturation you spotted 3 hours before it would have taken out the checkout, the error rate that climbed on a Friday afternoon that got handled before Monday. Pick one that is real. Take out anything sensitive, put it on a single slide. What the tooling saw, when it saw it, and what it would have costed if nobody had looked at it. Then do the thing finance actually needs. Put a number on the invisible slide of the scale. Not a made-up number, an honest one. One that's not a made-up number, an honest one. What is an hour of a system being down worth to the business? What would that near miss have costed it if it had run for 3 hours and nobody noticed? Now, the counterfactual has a figure on it. And for the first time, you can sit next to the invoice and be on equal footing with it. It isn't just a shrug anymore. Then put that slide in front of ever who signs the renewal. Not at renewal time, when it sounds like you're specially pleading for money. Now, while it's quiet, make the invisible thing visible while nobody is under pressure. You know I like doing that. Because you will not win the funding argument with a quiet quarter. You'll win it by showing the incident the quarter was actually made of, and by putting a price on it, putting a figure around the disaster that didn't happen, that the tooling caught. Right, that's the idea, and that's the habit. Now the part I look forward to, signal check time. So question number one is from a newsletter reader, Sadiq, who is a SRE engineer. His question is, everyone says engineering needs a seat at the table. Practically, how do I explain observability work that I do in a language the business actually cares about? Sadiq, I love it. And that's a great question. This is a good one. And it's the whole game if you really want to keep your budget. You know, it is the game. Here's the mistake that nearly everyone makes. They walk into the room and they talk about work. We improve cardinality. We cut our ingestion. And every one of those sentences lands as just noise, because the person across the table doesn't buy telemetry, they buy outcomes. So stop translating the work and start translating the risk. Don't tell them you've improved cardinality. Tell them you've cut the time to find a checkout outage from an hour down to 5 minutes. Tell them what an hour of checkout or the checkout being down actually costs them. And now you're speaking their language. Pick one real incident, put a number in it, frame everything you do in the currency of the person signing the check. What breaks, how fast you will know, and what it costs you on the day if you do not. That's the whole trick, my friend. Speak money, not metrics. So remember that. You can take that one to the bank. Speak money, not metrics. Question 2 is from a engineer who's working in banking. How do I decouple my instrumentation from my observability vendor without a 2-year migration and eating out the budget? We all know what we're going to say here, and I can hear the rapturous applause already. One word, open telemetry. If you implement it to the open standard, your telemetry stops belonging to whichever vendor you happen to pick and starts belonging to you. And that's the whole point of it. You'll see a lot of blogs from me about this, a lot of talks about this, about pointing the hose in the right direction to the vendor you want. You don't need a 2-year migration to get there. That's the trap people talk themselves into. And then they do nothing at all. You don't have to rip anything out. You just have to stop digging the hole. Point every piece of the new instrumentation at OpenTelemetry from today and let the old vendor specific stuff age out on its own as you touch each service. You can dual stream, you can do all these good stuff. Don't listen to what the vendors tell you. Do that, and the day you want to switch vendor, or you just want to walk away, walk into a renewal with a straight face and actually negotiate, the data's already yours. It doesn't then become a config change or a rebuild issue. So you will own the signal, instrument to the standard, not the invoice. I sounded a bit preachy there, but that's a hot topic for me at the moment with a lot of people I'm talking to. Well, anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing this every week. The book is out. I've also started a Tech Tuesday for those who want to learn more about the technology at my sort of level. So please like and subscribe. Come across to the website. If you need my help, you know where I am. Just ping me on LinkedIn or any of my socials. 45 minutes I will give to anybody who's just interested in what we do. So much love, stay safe, and thanks again.